Hello and welcome back to Straight Talk with Arun Kumar. This show is sponsored by Movers.com. Movers.com for all your moving needs. Okay, so Toral, we're talking about Desi parenting, so I have to ask you this question. So, because all parents are worried about this specific thing, what do you do specifically, you personally do to ensure the cultural bonding exists with your Indian roots or something, Indian heritage? So what do you do?
Sure. So what I've done, Arun, is, when the kids were growing up, right, we always made it a point to visit India at least once a year. And of course, once they get into middle school and all, it gets harder. But up until then, we've always tried to do that. Always had them attend, family weddings so that they are aware of, our culture, how it works. Always encouraged kids to participate in Indian dance programs, and my younger son actually even pursues Indian dancing. That's pretty much.
So how does it help? They go there for dance, right? For maybe 2 hours. They come back home. They forget.
It's the Indian music. It's the Indian culture.
Right.
That motivates them to watch Indian movies.
Okay.
My younger son doesn't even understand what the words mean, but he sings those songs. So I think that is really good. Just learning that language and experiencing it, and knowing all the actors, because they can relate now better to the the Indian culture. They've also been, when they were growing up, they used to go to Indian school as well, where they learned, prayers and stuff like that. So that is
so that'd be good.
that
Another thing about the
proud.
movies could be make sure kids, when they watch movies, if possible, put subtitles in the movies so they can relate. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that helps.
That helps.
That definitely helps. In fact, if we go to see any Indian movies, even today, they'll
Right.
ask us, are there subtitles?
See?
But at least they're motivated to come and watch Indian movies.
Correct,
so
correct.
that makes me feel happy.
Correct. What do you think, Rekha? What do you do to ensure the bonding with your home
we
country
send them
students?
to language classes.
So that's another thing.
So that way, apart from, they just started this year, being 8 years old.
Right.
So they're catching up on some little words.
They learn to read and write and all that.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're just now in alphabets right now.
Right.
At least every time we call back India to talk to our parents, then we force them to say at least 1 or 2 words. You talk to them and say, hello, how are you doing, kind of a thing. I'm doing good. Those responses we are trying to build them up, and also taking them to temples for all the occasions.
Right.
That way they see what all pujas and what, here
Like
we don't.
Dashara, Diwali or something
Yeah,
like
Diwali
that.
is just, okay, you go to school, I go to work, and come back, and there is nothing.
Yep.
So taking them to Diwali cracker time and showing them this is how it is, kind of a thing. And once we made sure that we go during the Diwali time, so they can see how India is lit with that Diwali time, and sharing sweets and those kind of cultural thing. We are just trying to bring them.
Yeah. See, one good thing here is living in US is there's no in-laws. No in-laws. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think, Arun,
We can edit this part in the YouTube recording, so when you show it to your parents, that's fine, or your husband's parents, so we can edit it. That's fine.
You're asking me to answer.
No, please answer. Yes. I'm giving a disclaimer. I'm saying we can edit this part.
So let me tell you this, right? Living with in-laws has its own pros as well, right? My in-laws never lived with us, but they in fact still visit us every year. I think that is so necessary for that cultural, that connect. And I always feel that our kids miss out on that, because I've had my kids tell me, Grandparents' Day. Right, so my son would come and tell me, Mom, all the grandparents were there. That's right. When you think, it's like that's when the kids really need the grandparents. So I think definitely it has got more pros than cons.
I don't know if it's a camera answer or that's fine.
No, no, absolutely no. I'm telling this from the bottom of my heart. I think that it is so advantageous to have grandparents around.
Right. What about you? What do you think in-laws or grandparents in general?
Touch wood, my in-laws are good to me and great.
No one's speaking the truth.
Oh no! This is the fact.
Okay.
I haven't heard them say any one bad thing about me directly to me. So
that's a good thing, right? So and your kids speak to your grandparents on phone.
Oh
and all that.
yeah. So they're. And I also send them for singing, Carnatic singing classes for them. So
that's good.
they try to sing to them over the phone.
Music is another thing, right? Music, dancing, learning the language, watching movies with subtitles, right?
Yep.
I think even in the big screens, right? There are subtitles now, right?
Oh yeah,
there
are.
Watch Hindi
There
movies
are.
or
Yes.
regional languages also.
The Bahubali 2 is a big hit.
Right,
and
right.
And my kids watched it without the subtitles because
Yeah, I'm yet to watch that movie. I didn't watch it yet, but I'll try to watch it.
you have to watch it in the big screen,
Yeah.
not in the
Okay.
house.
All right. So, after your kids grew up like 20 years old, so do you think, because one reason why we come to US is for opportunities and good fat packages, but I personally think the parents also sacrifice, a lot of their stuff purely for their kids. Do you think kids realize the because they're born here with an American passport, with the greatest country in the world, most powerful country. So do you think they realize the sacrifices you make as a parent?
So I think more than sacrifices, we do highlight to them that, what opportunities they've had and what opportunities we did not have, and our struggle. I think that is one thing we do.
Struggle.
Yes, we do highlight that. So I'll just give you an example, right? So my son, when he was ready to buy a car, he's like, I want this car. And we were like, you know what, mom and dad started out with a second-hand car, right? And that's what it was, right?
A beat-up Camry or Corolla or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And that too with 120 miles.
120K, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we
120K
did that,
miles.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we do highlight our struggles, and I think that is the best way we can make them realize that what they have as of today is served to them in a golden platter, in a silver plate, right? So with a golden spoon.
Yep.
So we do take the opportunity of highlighting that.
What do you think?
I should learn it from her and then take it back home. Yeah,
Do they ask any? Do your kids ever ask any tough questions which put you in the spot anytime?
Tough questions.
Right.
Um,
Okay, you know what? Let me ask you some questions from their side. This is a rapid fire round. So you have to answer like right away. And these are some real questions which some kids ask their mom or dad. And you cannot take like an hour to answer.
Okay.
So because kids are fast, they give you like only 5 seconds to answer.
Okay.
You have boys, right?
Correct.
So let's say one day they bring a girl home, let's say a black girl or a white girl home, and say, Mom, this is your bahu. How would you react? I want to marry her, right? How would you react?
I would say, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hope that works.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
That's it? Okay, great. Okay, let's see. You have a boy and a girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah, your girl says, Mom, he's my boyfriend. How would you react?
It's a long way to go for
No,
me.
I know, but that's why you should be prepared. So you're wasting time. You have to answer. It's a rapid fire round.
Okay, I mean, this generation, I think it's okay, and we are gotten used to that mindset of having. At least they come and introduce them as, okay, this is to be your bahu or to be your son-in-law. That's a better way of, instead of saying like, okay, I'm married and I got children and then come home, I would say.
Okay, so what would you say if your kid says, they go to India, right? Say, hey mom, the people in India trash things on the street just like that, right? So we don't do that in US. So how would you answer that question?
Well, I've been asked that.
Right.
And the way I answer that is, that is how India works in terms of the social structure, and that is how it is. It's different from the US. So
Okay. How would you answer that question?
We were like that, and now they're having cleaning up and trash control and all that coming up, because we see some trash
Oh, please,
trucks and all that.
oh, that's trash. That's not, no, that's being too politically correct, and that answer is unacceptable.
No, they see this trucks coming up now, but they still see the truck. I mean, trash over there. So
Right.
they're like, we were used to this one, and now people are being trained to be using the trash bins and all that. So they're yet to be getting to that level of the US standards.
Okay, you know what, now that you're trying to be politically correct, let
I'm
me load you
targeted
with some
now.
more questions. Okay. What if, and these are some real scenarios, okay?
Okay.
What if your kid laughs at someone's Indian accent and says, hey mom, he speaks weird or she speaks weird? How would you react to that? Her accent is weird. They make fun of it.
I don't let them, even now, like it doesn't matter whether it is
Kids
accent.
did that, you know that, right? Some basic, I mean,
So I
not
just-
intentionally, because they're kids. How
Yeah,
would you
so
react to
I
that?
just tell them, we should be nice to anybody. You might be laughed at somebody else, being laughed by somebody else for something else. So we should be nice to everybody. That's how I have been raising them. So that would be the same answer.
Have
even
you
then.
seen racism here? I mean, in any Western countries? Yes is a yes, no is a no. That's fine.
yes,
I haven't.
to a certain,
I haven't ever in my 18 years, and never. So
No, to us, I mean, recently I did, see some kind of racism, but in the past I've never really experienced it or seen it either.
Yeah, me neither.
you never came across.
No.
That's good. So what would you say if you were to give any suggestions to any parents in general, raising kids?
Sure. So, so what I would like to say is, be involved with your kids.
Okay, right.
Honestly, from my standpoint, I've always tried to do that right from, their elementary school to middle school to high school. I've always volunteered my time. I've tried to do sports with my kids as well. I used to do taekwondo with my kids. Try to get involved as much as possible, just to not to see what they're doing, but to instill that we are there for them. Just try to be there for them. That's that's what I would say.
What would you say from your experience? Any?
And then
Or you're still in learning phase?
yes, learning phase. Like at least emphasis on what she's been saying, that would take it back. That I would take it back.
Okay. So as you were a working mom, right?
Yes.
So did you ever feel that you're like stressed out because there's no domestic help here, domestic meaning your relatives, or so how do you handle that? I mean, raising the kids and being a mom, being a working mom. How do you?
Correct. So what I did, Arun, was I made my own choices. When my older son was born, I took a break for 3 years.
Right.
And I said, okay, I want to be there for my son. I want to experience his first word, his first step. So I took a break then. And then with my second son also, I took a break for 2 years. So it was, I've tried to balance. Yes, it is difficult. You have to make some compromises, between your career and your personal life.
Right.
And I think that's how I balanced it. And of course sought out help. I got a live-in nanny, which definitely helps. So my focus was, as soon as I reached home, it was okay. It was all about my kids after that. So that's how I tried to bring the balance.
How do you balance? I know you're working and you're a mom too.
Yeah, just running around like crazy and and I
Hey,
end
that's
up
not an
with-
answer.
No, I am doing
Right,
that
right,
because
right.
by the time the day is coming to an end and putting them to sleep, I would go to bed and probably sleep before even they fall asleep. That's because that crazy tired we are, running around them, taking to different classes, getting them to do their homework, and all that. I really miss having grandparents with us, because especially during the summer vacation time and all that, when I grew up, like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is when I would wake up. But now I don't have no other option. When I have to be at work at 8 or 9 o'clock, I have to be. So you have to be in summer camp no matter what. They have to get up, they have to go to bed early.
So, when I talk to parents, they're always talking about activities, right? What activities do you involve your kids in?
So I told you, like they're going to language class,
classes, yeah.
and then they're going for Carnatic music.
Right.
Kumon.
Kumon, yeah.
So
Yeah.
then tennis, swimming. Pretty much, I have already 5 classes, and Kumon is 2 days.
Loading them with that. So how do you engage them in sports? I mean, do you pick a sport you like and see if they like it, or do they say, "Mom, I like this specific sport," and they get in there?
We went with our friends, like, okay, I'm trying to put him here. You want to try your son in this sports? We tried taekwondo, we tried soccer, and that didn't work. So now we are trying swimming. No matter what, they like water, so they're doing it there. Now we have have them in tennis. So far, so good. So they are liking it. Hope they don't change their mind. And how was your experience?
What were your kids' activities?
Sure. So my kids' activities were again, the same, swimming and tennis and soccer and taekwondo. So the way I approached it was, I let them experience it all. I'm like, okay, you go try out, and this was, of course, my way of telling them, okay, you need to select one sport, because I cannot be running around at 10 places. So up until I think it was 3rd or 4th grade, I let them try out everything, and then after that I said, once you're in middle school, you're going to be very busy, so you need to select one sport, and that's what
Right, because I want to talk about parenting in general too, not really
Sure.
Indian parenting. So cool. Yep. So why is it that most Indians always pick on soccer? They speak so much about connecting with Indian roots, but I hardly seen anyone involving their kids in cricket or anything like that. Why not?
So
I mean, as a parent, what about you?
yeah, sure. So when my kids were growing up, right, Arun, we did not have these kind of cricket clubs that we have,
Okay.
right, as of today. But they understand cricket. My younger one, he loves sports, so he watches any sport. He loves
Okay.
cricket. He knows, few top of players also.
I don't
my
know them
husband,
myself. I don't
yeah,
watch,
no,
but yeah.
no, my husband, we had a cricket bat at home, so they used to play. So they were introduced to the game, but never really had any. Nowadays, where they have these clubs, that professionally even coaches cricket.
But why not other games like hockey or baseball or football? Why is it that Indian kids are always Indian parents always put them in soccer? I mean, any specific reason? I mean,
I can't think of any specific reason. I think that was the most easily
हर
accessible.
कोई करता है तो हम भी करना है. Is that what it is?
No, I think it was more of these flyers that come to you. Okay, soccer. Why don't we try soccer?
Okay.
So I guess that was primarily. It was no thought put into
Right,
why
right.
soccer or
Yeah.
why tennis.
Right.
It was just, I guess, at that point of time, it was okay. Soccer is there. Let's try it out.
What do you think? Why is soccer so popular among Indian
I
parents?
told you, some friends told
Some
we are putting
friends told
kids will want to try your son with that, so we just tried. We just went with that.
Right.
No specific reasons of,
Right.
as you told, like we don't have an elder one where we tried and
Right,
then
right.
have the second
Oh
one.
yeah,
also.
she got an excuse now. She's going to use it for all the follow-up
Totally
questions.
different.
No, this is
Okay.
the first time I'm using
Okay,
that.
let's count. All right, one. Good, Rekha. Okay. So talking about superstitions, right? Speaking with you before, Thoral, are you a homeowner?
Yes, I am.
Are you a homeowner?
Yeah.
Good. Why are we Indians so crazy about which side the home faces? To the extent that we're willing to shell out about 40, 50, 60 grand more on top of the actual home price, like especially east facing and some north facing. So why are we? What is that?
So, yes, I have known people, do that. But personally, I'm not very. I am superstitious, but not up to that extent. I'm not a very firm believer in Vastu. I think that's where this
Right.
whole thing stems from, that the face has to be this, the house has to be this facing or whatever.
Yeah.
So yes, but I've heard that, and I guess it's up to an individual, how they strongly feel about it. So
Because now even the American guys who don't know about Vastu, even they know. Okay, if it's east facing, right, the home dealer or the broker, yeah, you can.
It's a premium plot.
It's a you pay premium for that. So
Right.
yeah, you
Right.
know that, right? There's
Right.
several condos in many communities. What do you
Right.
think? I mean,
Yeah, my house is not with that specifications.
let's see. Let's see. What facing is your home?
West.
West is okay. But we're all against south. We're against south. I'm pretty sure her home is north or east. What's
I was born and brought up in a south-facing house.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I actually forgot. In some areas, in some places in India, south is considered to be better, right?
Oh.
I think Tamil Nadu and other states. I think
Okay,
south is.
I don't know.
No,
those
yeah,
specific
because I heard now that you mentioned. What about you?
mine is east.
East a bit.
But it just so happened.
Talking about hypocrisy.
No, it just so happened.
Okay. Yeah, it always happens.
No
It just happens
preferences.
that we.
It was no conscious effort. We
Right.
just had to pick a plot. We got it, fit within our budget. We went with it.
Right. And what are, just before we wrap up, what are some of your funny or pleasant or bone tickling experiences you had raising kids? Did they come up with
Well,
anything?
Sure. So one of the things was the accent.
Mhm.
Kids were always, "Mom, you cannot say this word this way. You have it has
yeah,
to
you
be
have to
said
say it
this
way.
way."
It's not right. Right.
Right. And I think our Indian accent is more of British.
Correct.
So again, it is more British, Mom. You cannot say like that.
cannot
So I
say
think
that.
I've had some funny experiences with that. So that's I think
Yeah, I'm not satisfied. Give me one experience.
in terms of
Funny experiences. You mentioned one.
yeah. So I just shared with you,
Oh,
right?
is that the accent thing?
Yeah. And they're very particular about saying "v" versus "v." And I
okay.
learned that.
Yeah,
Those were
yeah.
phonics that I learned too, whilst teaching them. I'm saying, okay, this is how you learn. So like I said, it has been, a learning for me personally
Correct.
as well. It has been an experience in these 24 years, it's just been a whole journey, I would say, being here, coming here. As a first generation,
Right.
raising kids, and
Yeah.
now they are, in a different phase, going to college. So,
What about you, Rekha? Do your kids make fun of you sometimes, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this Siri thing, like
Yeah.
and then phones that we have.
Right.
We try to ask something for it to search.
It doesn't get it.
But my kid says that it does come back with answers.
Yeah, it does.
So
That's because they speak. When we
That's
speak,
it.
we don't get the answer from Siri. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Right.
that was one thing. And when few months when into school, like pre-K and all that, they don't even know to talk or anything. They're with us. My husband is trying to fix some toy for them or put a battery for it to work. And the next minute we hear after he makes the toy work, he's like, "We did it." Like, you didn't even do it. It was me who did it. But how can you say it is we did it? It's all like that school thing that they have, and whether you did it or there, I was part of watching you, and I have it as we did it. So
What would you say was the toughest challenge so far as a parent?
Raising them so far was really tough, because like they even now, like the after with a girl and a boy,
Right.
and with
Yeah,
a twin.
I was going to ask. Yes.
So like one would cry, one would want to cry for milk, and one would want to sleep, and one would stay up the whole night, one would sleep. So
How is it different raising a boy versus a girl?
Oh, that's totally different.
Totally different. No, I mean in terms of expenditure is different, but but otherwise,
It would be like, can you come here? And my daughter would come probably in 1 minute.
Yeah.
My son would be like, I'm coming.
And
And
nothing happens.
nothing will happen.
happens.
The coming would not even, he will not even move his hand or a leg from
Yeah.
that place. The coming will still be coming all the time.
Right,
so
right.
that's the girl thing and the boy thing, I think.
What's your
Yeah.
been so far your toughest challenge?
My toughest challenge,
As a
Arun, I
parent.
think as a parent, of course, being challenged to make sure that they do maintain their cultural roots, and they understand or appreciate what this country has to offer, and what we have gone through and what they are experiencing right now is something that I feel that we've always highlighted that basically to them, to appreciate the country that they are living in and the opportunities that they've had.
Cool. All right. Any last comments or tips or suggestions or something to parents out there before we wrap up? Anything? Any
So I guess
advice?
I'm not an expert on this.
You have to be by now. You're a 20-year-old
But
kid.
everybody has their own ways, right? But my suggestion would be to remain involved with your kids in whatever capacity you can, and always let them know that you are there for them, and talk to them. That's what I like to do. I talk to my kids a lot. Even after a long day at work, when I come home, I do make it a point to at least go and show my face to my kids 5 minutes. How was your day? The boys don't tell you a whole
Right.
lot. Everything is cool.
Everything is cool.
But yeah, that's what I
But
think.
that's good. What about you?
No pampering.
No pampering. That's a big one.
I mean, we need to pamper them, but
Yes.
not like over pamper them with giving them whatever they want. And
We want them to earn it, right?
yes.
That's when they know the value of it. Because in India, there's too much pampering. I know it's all out of affection and love. I realize that, but it's just too much pampering sometimes.
So with grandparents around, you get more pampering.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for coming to our show, Rekha.
Thank you,
Toru.
Arun, for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank
That's
you
all
for
the time we have for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We will continue this discussion, this time with kids around, and let's see what they have to say, and let's see if they agree or disagree with the parents. Thank you for watching ManaTV, and this show has been sponsored by Movers.com. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you.